All right, folks, here's yet another story that'll just make your head explode. Obama, in a recent interview, said, quote, "The U.S. underestimated the rise of ISIS in Iraq and Syria." Well, gee, you think? What's amazing to me is it seems like the common people, you, me, those that are listening to this, it seems like we are better at finding intelligence, or if you want to call it that, or researching things out and coming to a better conclusion than these people that we pay to protect us and keep us safe and put our trust in. I mean, how many, we saw video after video after video after video of beheadings, murders, crucifixions, children being killed, children being slaughtered, children being murdered, Christians by the thousands being slaughtered, running out of Syria, this and that. Members of ISIS driving down the road in vehicles, just spraying people with semi-automatic machine guns. All this stuff was coming out. The threats were being breathed. And what was the response of this administration? Well, I have a video on that. Check this out.
Tony, you say you've been warning about it, but in January, President Obama told the New Yorker magazine's David Remnick that ISIS, which was then still considered a part of al-Qaeda fighting in Syria, was like a JV basketball team. He said, quote, "The analogy we use around here sometimes, and I think is accurate, is if a JV team puts on Lakers uniforms, that doesn't make them Kobe Bryant." Just how badly did President Obama underestimate the threat of ISIS?
No, they're too... Well, apparently, he greatly underestimated the rise of ISIS. And on 60 Minutes, he had an interview, and check this out, and this is what he had to say.
Where they are in control of so much territory. Was that a complete surprise to you?
Well, I think our head of the intelligence community, Jim Clapper, has acknowledged that I think they underestimated what had been taking place in Syria. Essentially what happened with ISIL was that you had al-Qaeda in Iraq, which was a vicious group, but our Marines were able to quash with the help of Sunni tribes. They went back underground, but over the past couple of years, during the chaos of the Syrian civil war, where essentially you have huge swaths of the country that are completely ungoverned, they were able to reconstitute themselves and take advantage of that chaos and attract foreign fighters who believed in their jihadist nonsense and traveled everywhere from Europe to the United States to Australia to other parts of the Muslim world, converging on Syria. And so this became ground zero for jihadists around the world, and they've been very savvy in terms of their social media. In some cases, you have old remnants of Saddam Hussein's military that had been expunged from the Iraqi military, which gave them some traditional military capacity and not just terrorist capacity. And this is one of the challenges that we're going to have generally, is where you've got states that are failing or in the midst of civil war, these kinds of organizations thrive. That's why it's so important for us to recognize part of our solution here is going to be military. We just have to push them back and shrink their space and go after their command and control and their capacity and their weapons and their fueling and cut off their financing and work to eliminate the flow of foreign fighters. But what we also have to do is